Hello guys. Today we're going to make a review of the latest art. The latest art I have been working on for many months. Something very impressive, like from my point of view. And today I am going to show you why. Firstly, we will make the overview of the map that I have built. Then we will touch some technical side. I will show you why materials are so great, and especially all this package is mostly, and all the new interesting technologies are connected with materials. And a bit later, so if we have time, we'll combine some level or piece of the level. So and I'm glad to see you, and I will be more often on the streams because I have finished like something really big. Всем привет! Привет, кто меня давно не видел. Сегодня будем смотреть новый пак, новые вещи, которые вам точно понравятся. И начнем с того, что будем смотреть, как вообще выглядит сам уровень. So the level is pretty huge this time, so with my every work, so I'm trying like to push myself further and to try something bigger and bigger. And I'm a little bit even scared about what will be my next project, because it will be something even more bigger. And for this one, I spent a lot of time just to combine all these pieces together. So here what we can see is that all the light is dynamic, so nothing is baked, nothing at all. Fully dynamic, lumen and night, like all I could use, I used. Maybe except nanite displacement, because it's appeared in 5.4, and that's why I decided, okay, it's not enough just to switch from 5.2, because I know that people who are making like real projects, so they're not switching so fast, and that's why it's better to keep it as low as possible. Давно не было стримов, да давно, конечно, потому что я не хотел показывать до тех пор, пока сам не разберусь, чтоб уж потом как показать прям все. And maybe I was a little bit too ambitious about like building such huge level, but I wanted to provide something that people can use in real games, like not just for showcasing. Так, доброго дня, работаете ли вы в студии? Нет, я сейчас не работаю в студии. Пока не поступало таких предложений, которые можно было бы всерьез рассмотреть. Пока я занимаюсь вот этой вот красотой и занимаюсь плагинами для блендера. Это все, что входит в сферу моих интересов на ближайшее время. О, Таня появилась. Так, привет. So here we have openable doors, like as always. I have used some things from the past packages just to keep everything in one modern package. Fortunately for me, I started like a long time ago, like before like Fallout series appeared, because for sure, like if I saw their art style, it would remind more like Fallout. Because I really like what they did in the series, and maybe we'll recreate something similar or very close by style. So let's go further. So I have like maybe 3 big rooms and 2 small rooms to connect them. Most of them are contain symmetrical pods, just to save some time. True. And as you can see, performance is like quite good. My video card currently is like not so updated. It's 2080. It's everything possible like to make it run smoothly. Расскажи, пожалуйста, про детализацию сета. Это high-poly нанит или mid-poly плюс декали? Тут нет декалей. Я бы, наверное, назвал это mid-poly-high-poly, потому что все вот эти вот болтички... Так, где тут? Так бы подбежать как-то, чтобы повернуться, посмотреть. В общем, все вот эти детали, это все геометрия. Геометрии должно быть настолько достаточно, чтобы было достаточно точек для того, чтобы содержать информацию о Vertex Color. Поэтому я, если честно, я не скупился. Есть здесь некоторые ассеты, в которых по, не знаю, наверное, по 300 тысяч треугольников. Но поскольку это на Night, он позволяет нам это все запускать без проблем. Thank you very much. So actually what I said I will repeat. So we have here like something between mid-poly, high-poly models. I will show you a little bit later how the geometry looks like. But actually I was spending as much as I wanted, as it's nanite, and I didn't care about poly count that much. I even don't know like what is the poly count of the whole scene, because it doesn't matter. Have you built that environment wall by wall, or you have a sort of generator? So actually I thought about generator, about Houdini maybe some, but I decided that no, I wanted like to create something unique. And actually when you have such a concept, yeah, I think you can create some kind of generator like based on such concept. But when you have nothing, like to build generator, it would take ages for me like to create. But because the light is fully dynamic, I think it's totally possible, and it's what I hope people will be doing with this set, about taking some ideas and maybe putting for some generators like. Ew. Шейдерную часть будем затрагивать на стриме? Да, немножко посмотрим. Не будем сильно углубляться, потому что там все достаточно технично, но я расскажу, как оно вообще все работает. А пока вы смотрите, просто наблюдайте, как все прекрасно затекстурено, как все четенько. Some guys mentioned dupe vibes. For me, it's more like Fallout theme. Yeah, I'm totally agree, and that's why I'm happy that Fallout series was launched later than I started this environment, because I would be influenced more. But now we have something unique, fortunately for me. As you can see, the scale is pretty good. I'm really satisfied. I thought that maybe I need multiple floors more, but I decided that it would be too much. Just I didn't have time. But definitely the package is so diverse that you can make something even bigger, because all the materials are procedural. You can scale some elements. You just have a look at this metal. It's something that I like really very much, and all of it is procedural. It's not something textured by hand. And actually what I like, as all the materials are procedural, I haven't spent any time on baking these texture sets and also UVs, but if about UVs I have Zen UV and I don't care. But baking and texturing takes really a lot of time. And with this package, everything what you need to do is just to combine some meshes and to click export, and you have already the ready result. So we made the whole circle around the map. The size is almost 3000 square meters. Here I also a little bit later noticed that I forgot to fix some decals, so it's up to people who will buy it. Напоминает Wolfenstein. Это хорошо, что всем разное напоминает, значит воровство удалось. Немножечко оттуда взял, немножечко оттуда, оп, и получилось что-то плюс-минус уникальное. So we are walking around, and we can have a look how it's combined, how it looks like inside. Let's press G. What you can see that I placed maybe 1 million of these color decals. It was a nightmare, but I did it. So, and when you're looking at the level in general, we can click unlit. We can see that it contains several rooms. Actually 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th one that is connecting all these rooms between. So all the procedural materials made inside Unreal only. Yes, it's exactly only Unreal Engine. I have generated some patterns like in Substance Designer, but I could do it whenever I want, so I think it doesn't matter. So here we have 4 big rooms, and for example, when you are inside of these rooms, what I like about Unreal 5 is that now you can finally edit blueprints, and you can have level instances and you can edit them really easy. You just need to click edit, and now you're already editing this level. As you can see, doors are blueprints and they are part of the huge level. And here we have, find it, where is it? Somewhere here. So and here we have pivot point of this room. Here we have some FX. For this small room it's just here, Steam. Also we have decals. Now we can have a look closer at these beautiful materials. We can make even speed slower, just to enjoy the quality of generation. So here we have decals. For the decals you can change color if you don't like this one, and also you can change opacity for each decal. Imagine you have such control. So, and decals, a lot of them. We have lighting. So actually it's also a blueprint. I have a set of different lights, different size, and its blueprint where this emissive material from the lighting part is connected with the actual source, light source. And when you change the color, for example, you can see that emissive material is also changing. For example, when it's turning off, it's also turning off. And here you have some parameters. You can ask me why I didn't use rectangular lights, because the shape of this light is exactly rectangular, but it's only because of the performance. I noticed that rectangular lights are much more expensive, and as we deal with fully dynamic lighting, still we need to care about lights, and especially about lights overlapping. And here I had like very hard time about make them work, look beautiful, and still to see them like not very overlapping. So different lights and some meshes that are not parts of the level instances. And what is the most beautiful, here we have level instances. If to be precise, we have packed level actors, and it means that we have levels that contain only static meshes. And they contain static meshes because they are packing them inside of the blueprint where they are instanced, and that's why they are very optimized. And it's also very easy to edit. So actually you can go inside and press edit, and now you can see that we are editing the corner of this room. And in this way, like, all the level is done. Bigger pieces are containing smaller pieces, but inside of this packed level actors you can see only static meshes. What also I wanted to mention, again, like for the sake of the optimization, because it's not a miracle, and as light is dynamic, you need to care more about it. Like for some meshes, as for example that maybe ceiling, you can see that if you go to the shadow, cast shadow, so that it's turned off, like again for the sake of performance. And it's turned off only where it matters. For example, these railings, you can see that cast shadow is turned on. Декали на полу. Что за декали? Что за декали? Это уже объясняли. Обычные декали сверху лепятся. Меняется цвет, меняется прозрачность. Также из примечательного, и это я сейчас даже продемонстрирую, эти декали реагируют на слой износа. And it's something very interesting that I will show you. For example, if you copy this decal, so let's make it bigger, like this. You can see that it works with a wear layer of this material, so it always looks believable. And it's something that you can control in the material settings about like on what material you will see these decals. And it gives you much more freedom about what you can do just with the decals, not with the materials. So like over material color, you can add more of your settings on top just because of placing these decals. And for example, now you can just change it to the red, I don't know. And all it's done just with the decals. All of these settings are in material, I will show you, but I really like this feature. And also with checking alpha channel, you can control about how much wear you have on this decal precisely, and you can make mix of materials. Isn't it amazing? I think it's amazing. It's like fully real time, no baking, textures, like it's... As for me, it's pure creativity. Так что декали здесь прям то, что надо. So we can make the speed a bit faster, and we can check another room. Let's check and I'm sure that many people who are watching right now, they're like, oh, the level was beautiful, but I'm sure they just don't understand like the level of I don't know, of technologies that we used, and I will show a bit later about how materials work. Из-за того, что это все процедурно затекстурено, не теряется оптимизация, тримы тайлы дешевле в этом плане должны быть. Собственно, как дешевле? Оно, с одной стороны, да, дешевле, но с другой стороны, все, что ты видишь вокруг, все, что ты видишь вообще вокруг, вот здесь, вот это один материал. То есть, когда ты вот заходишь, к примеру, в редактирование уровня и выбираешь какую-то модель, ты видишь вот один материал. Выбираешь любую другую модель, и это тоже тот же материал. Один материал вообще для всего. То есть, казалось бы, пол очень сильно отличается от тех же труб, но ты выбираешь модель и опять тот же самый материал. Все один материал. То есть разбиение на ID материалов происходит уже внутри самого материала. И это все процедурно текстурится. То есть если мы вот это вот дело немножечко подвинем, мы видим, что, видишь, меняется чик-чик-чик. То есть все ассеты получаются уникальными, абсолютно уникальными, потому что их маски зависят от положения объекта в сцене. То есть ты можешь его скопировать там много раз, и в итоге каждый будет выглядеть по-разному. А что еще здорово, что из-за трипланара мы, если маска идет, переход идет с модели на модель. То есть нет такого, что здесь на этой модели ты нарисовал износ, а на нижней модели ничего нет. И обычно в таких случаях, когда уникальная текстура ассета, это стараются такими вещами не заниматься, чтобы нормально стыковалось все. Здесь же эта проблема решена. То есть здесь переходы между моделями, они такие очень плавные, очень натуральные. Так, декали. Вот here I can show you. Also, I faced some problems with mirroring level instances, and I found that it's like the problem that's existing a long time. And for example, I was successful with mirroring some of the level instances, but some of them just doesn't work. And for example, this is unmirrored side, and if you choose mirrored side, it's -1, and when you click edit, you will see something like this. Boom! I don't know, like when Epic Games going to fix this, but it's something that I noticed and it's pretty annoying, and that's why like when editing you need just to edit the side that is not mirrored, and when you're just editing this side, it works smoothly. У трипланара есть недостаток, когда объект движется, вместе с движением движется и ржавчина. Это очень правильный момент, и поэтому для динамических объектов была создана специальная версия материала, и поэтому если ты обратишь внимание на двери, к примеру, сейчас мы найдем где-нибудь двери. So Alexander said that Triplanar has a huge problem about dynamically moving objects, that all these projections will be moving with moving objects, and we solved it by creating a special version of material just for dynamic materials actually. And you can see that the door works correctly, so nothing is moving. And as in this package I don't have like a lot of moving objects, I think it works like really great just to have special version of the material for dynamic objects. So, and I think it's time just to move to more technical scenes, because you want to know how it looks like, this material, why it's cool, and I'm sure that in the final part of this presentation many people will understand that why it's so great. Because I really spent unreasonable amount of time for creating it, and I used the help of other people, especially with materials, thanks to Ricky. he will be also mentioned further because he did some magic with material functions. Oh, it's crazy. What also you can notice that the influence of wear like on the floor is different than influence like on the walls, and it's made intentionally. Oh, Ricky is here. Any plans to create a course in the future of how to create these types of assets in environments? Yes, I think we'll create maybe, if not the course, but at least a small tutorial, like to give people an understanding to widespread this technology. And it's like something what I want like really much, because we need to use more advanced methods of creating assets for games, and I would like to see it implemented more and more. Now as Ricky. So let's look at the channels. Yes, I think it's a very good idea. Base color. We can see how base color looks like. Maybe we don't have like a huge variety of materials, because my idea was to create the level that is textured by one material, because why not? And actually if you use two materials, you already have much more variety, because in one material I have 5 layers, and as you can see here we have 5 materials. So it's base color. Let's go to the roughness. And roughness is pretty interesting, as I show you. What an amazing generators, and I would say that roughness channel is one of the most important channels that I took special attention about how the roughness look like. All these patterns and so on. What else we can show? We can show oh, shader complexity maybe. As we can see, shader is a bit maybe complicated according to the size, but it's just one shader for everything. So we can say that it's very optimized. Also, we can go to another room just to check light overlapping. Alt 7. So here, as you can see, in many rooms I tried to optimize lighting as much as possible, and that's why in very rare places I have more than 3 overlaps. And it's actually something that I hope was improved in 5.4, I mean performance, because of the overlapping. But if you overlap more and more lights, it's something that can drop the performance like severely. But fortunately we don't need to care about light baking, and it's something that saved me just ages, because I can remember about that I spent maybe 3 or 4 days just for baking light for my previous package. So what we can also check, maybe wireframe. Late. about wireframes, so you can see about how crazy I was about some modes. The geometry has some extra cards just to store this vertex color data. Сколько же времени ушло на создание? Времени ушло и просто неразумно много. Просто заняло много времени исследования и разработка пайплайна, разработка самого материала. Я покажу, как это плюс-минус выглядит внутри. И оно со стороны вроде кажется немного, но на деле это очень трудоемкий процесс. Поэтому считайте, что я сделал всю работу за вас. Можете теперь пользоваться реально работающий, разработанный механизм. So as you can see about geometry, I was not so crazy. I could add much more, I think. And here, as you can see, I added some cuts just to have stored vertex color information. Это Blender или CAD программа. So actually it's Blender, but I think you can easily use with this method some meshes from the CAD programs. So what else we can see here? I don't know. Reflection. Also I made like custom collisions like for all the meshes, because I want to people use it in games and to run it smoothly. Если честно, процедурный материал — это просто взрыв головы. О да, о да, о да. Я думаю, люди, которые понимают, что они видят, они такие: ебать, ебать. Да как так-то? Как же, мы же в этом, в Painter мы же текстурили. Все уже дотекстурились. И вы можете представить, какая большая экономия ресурсов это в рамках большого проекта, потому что сейчас из арта, если смотреть в игровых проектах, больше всего места занимают именно текстуры. Здесь, конечно, геометрия потяжелее, но куда-то геометрии до размера одной 4К текстуры хотя бы. Runs great on 2080. Yeah. So, but I hope that people will be buying, and we will buy, I don't know, 5090 when it's when it will be released. So I think you are already ready to switch to the overview level. Probably plasticity на самом деле немножечко пробовал, совсем немного, но я понял, что там слишком много надо изучать. Вы просто посмотрите. Вот этот вот металл, это я просто теку от него. Я смотрю на него каждый раз и такой думаю: боже, это процедурный металл, и он такой металлический. И испытываю некоторую вот слабость, наверное. Такой прям... красота. So let's switch to the overview scene. Сцена со светом, чтобы еще раз насладиться металлом. So, as you can see, here we have meshes without UVs at all. What does it mean? without UVs, because everything is textured. Like, is it some kind of dark magic? Almost. Let's check one of the meshes, just as an example. So when you're opening mesh, you can see that there is only one UV channel with no information at all. I wanted to delete it too, but it's impossible, something connected with limitations of the engine. But we don't have any other UV channels at all. No information. But everything is textured. Oh my god. And it's textured very well. With good lighting, it's even better, I would say. Let's make camera slower. Oh my gosh, this metal. And everything is textured procedurally. If you move this crate up, so you have another procedurally textured crate. Isn't it amazing? Yeah, I think it's very amazing. I'm very into metal. I am the metal fan. That's why I'm listening to the rock music. Дизайн мешей. Спасибо. Да, дизайн мешей интересный. Я прям делал все то, что хотел. Как мне хотелось. Такое. И немножечко все скругленное. Oh my god, this metal. So, and slowly but surely we are moving to the most interesting part. As you can see there, far away there are some material balls. And it's like where all the magic is happening. So for people who just joined it, about what we are doing, we are enjoying 3D models textured procedurally. It means that I didn't use any other site software for creating texture sets. Вот, который в пыли металл вообще. Ну, вот видите, я вот нашел людей, которые тоже так вот кайфуют. Потому что выглядит прям очень так. Назовем это реалистично. And slowly but surely we can see blueprint assets. Here actually we have like nothing special. Cable system, some containers that you can open. So that, for example, if you go here and if you press E, you can open all of the boxes. And people who are asking about Triplanar, you can enjoy the view. Triplanar is not moving. Pum pum. Surprise, surprise. And if you see the box with the red light, you can understand that it's not opening. And in the blueprint you have this checkbox about openable or not. Again, one more example with Triplanar dynamic. And some shelf. Actually, I even haven't used it in my level, but something that I will use in the future. Again, we can see green doors that can be opened and the red doors that won't be opened. Трипланар локальный. Да, получается, что там привязано именно к трансформу меша. So let's go further. Here we have one of the assets, one of the interesting, because here we can change type, we can change height, we can change actual rotation, flickering, this one you saw in the big room. Also, I need to show you this crazy shader. Ricky made some magic making it display. I made some magic about making it as animated video. So because actually it's all shader, all the animation is shader. Slowly go further. So here we have some Niagara examples. All of this steam is just one Niagara system. Very convenient that you can use just one to replicate many effects. This energy core. It's example of one of the modules. Here we have this sub-module. And the most interesting, materials. Materials. So you can see, you can read even. So actually, I can make a copy of this material. So we have here like 5 material layers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And everything is just one material. And it means that we are using layered material. Inside of this layered material we have 5 different layers, and we are using Vertex color data to make rules about how to mix these layers between. And here you can see that we have 3 channels in Vertex color: ambient occlusion, curvature, ID masks. ID masks are baked by different values, and when you are baking these values and importing 3D model in the engine, you can see the result immediately, bypassing the process of UVing, baking, texturing. So I just exported this 3D model from Blender, and it's already textured. Let's go a bit further. In the material we have 5 layers. I think it's time to show you material itself. Material itself. Here we have layers, 5 of them. And opening each layer we have 2 layers inside of each layer. Imagine how crazy we were with our idea about how to recreate realistic materials. And for each layer we have unique parameters for the wear, some effects, and on top of these 5 layers, inside of which layer we have 2 layers more, we have dirt, dust, leakage parameters on top of everything, like to combine all these layers together but something common. And here we can see that dirt, dust and leakage with different intensity, so it's almost clean. So here we have just material layers. Here we have the standard influence, so something in the middle. You just imagine everything is created in just one material, and so much variety that you can achieve. And it's something very dirty. Let's make overview of all what we can see in the scene, and then we will go for the level back, and I'll show you like how all these material changes work like in the scene. So we have global influence, and also we have different material layers. So each layer can be counted as a separate material, but actually here we have that it's like set for different materials, for 20 different materials. What is tricky is about how Triplanar works, because everyone who was using Triplanar, he knows that on the rounded surfaces you can face some problems on the corners and edges. But here Ricky did black magic. We had to sacrifice a couple of women to the black gods and dark gods, and it works really amazing, because transition is almost it's very hard to notice actually. Here a bit you can notice, but on 3D model, even with complex patterns, it really works great. Смотрю на ржавый угол, какой же он брутальный. Это да. Он просто прекрасен. And here we have more beautiful materials, and actually different materials. And inside this, it means that with one material system and the set of different patterns, you can recreate different ideas, like concrete, plastic, something crazy. The noise in the transition helps. Yeah, but anyway, anyway, so for complex patterns it just, for me it's magic. You can notice here a little bit, but that I have chosen. Again, tasty metal, and the roughness work really great, really great. And what is also great, I think a lot of things that are great in the package, but I think in Unreal presentation you saw that you can edit primitive data for each mesh, and it means that this, for example, is standard mesh, but if we choose another one, we can see that some values in the materials are shifted, and it means that you can generally receive another textured version of the model without even touching material, just touching some settings in the mesh. It sounds so crazy when I saw it in the presentation, so we just added it immediately because it's something really crazy. You can shift these parameters and you can see how it works. Oh, dark magic is happening. Стрим будет сохранен, да. Debuffer decals. Yeah, we are using only these decals. That's all. That's it. The material alone are worse. Yes, and that's why it's already on the review. On the Unreal Engine marketplace, and I will be distributing also material system itself. It will be just this part that I'm showing, and it will be largely enough for people to use this technology, because I can understand that not everyone needs the whole package with this big level. There's some people, especially artists, that they are interested in about acquiring the technology. So here we have, again, you can change wear position if you don't like it, and actually isn't it a magic? Completely clean version. And here we have examples about what you can achieve with one material. Again, I'm reminding you, all these pieces, it's just one material. And here I have just switched these layers. I took layers from the library, and we have completely different result. So here we have clean version, and also which one I really like, the dot one, rusty, abandoned. And I think here, just on the example of this meshes, we can check material parameters. Let's open material. Let's start from the general parameters. We can make something maybe more green. Green, more strong. Also you can change contrast of these masks, opacity for the color. Also normal. Previously I was trying to create some moss. I'm seeing contrast. And with big normals, yeah, maybe more light. Work. With some roughness shift. Премьера или стрим? Ты можешь считать премьерой, потому что уже все продается. Ссылочки в описании. So links are in the description. Everything that I'm showing you can already buy and touch. It's not hidden knowledge. So also we have dust. We have leakage amount. Let's remove dirt completely, 0, to show you how the leakage works. So you have sliders, again you have this contrast system, opacity for all the masks, for all the layers we have tiling parameter, because you can use these materials for different scales. It's what we were keeping in mind. For example, you can make it smaller for some small models, small scales, or you can make it really big for something huge. Here we have some material masks, and we have debug mode. When you enabling debug mode, you can see what is happening on different channels. I recommend to use unlit, and here you can see all the magic. All the magic, and in the blue channel we have different IDs. Reminding that it's vertex color, information is baked in vertex color. Blue channel, we have 5 different IDs, 5 different values. In the red we have baked ambient occlusion. Also we have not only occlusion from the meshes, we have depth field ambient occlusion that gives really nice results where meshes are connected. You can also check it. And here we have mix of baked ambient occlusion and depth field ambient occlusion. And in the green we have cavity that is also baked to vertex color. You can see that not everywhere the information is precise. Maybe in some cases you can add more vertices just to be more accurate. But it's mostly technical information. I found that this amount, this wireframe density is largely enough. Yes, so we have ambient occlusion, we have cavity, we have IDs, and we have triplanar mapping systems that is working with material layers, everything is combined, everything is connected. I would buy this pack just for its mats alone. Yes, I agree, because I think we spent half of the time, or maybe third part of the time in this project just figuring out what is the best combinations of parameters, what is important, what we need to achieve the visual result. And I agree that it works a lot for people who understand what they see. It's largely enough. So, and we can see that leakage also is different on the walls and on the floors. Let's go further. So we have debug, and it's almost everything that we have for the global parameters. Also, you can change dirt type. Let's return back our beautiful green dirt. And we can switch between different types. And because of different masks, it works different, I mean amount parameters. And when your influence is very subtle, you can see that dirt is in the corners, as it must be in the real world. That's why it looks quite believable. And free material spaghetti, yes, this one I will show. I will show. People for sure will ask how these materials are looking inside. And inside it's even more beautiful. Example, source, master material. It looks like this. Just see the beauty of organizing material spaghetti inside of the material. A lot of dependencies, a lot of different connections, and all you can see, it's not everything because it's just material part. Also there is a layer part, also there is part about blending layers, and also inside of this material there are a lot of material functions, I think maybe 20, 30, to make everything organizable and understandable. And everyone who had some experience with materials and about mixing different layers and different parameters, they understand about how complicated is the process, especially when you're implementing always new features. Just to make roughness influence all the layers and everything, and you just need to redone a lot of everything. But here what was used as a feature that all the people must use. All the people who are listening to me, all the people who are doing materials in Unreal Engine use I'm sorry. Use reroute node. What does it mean? It means that you don't need to make spaghetti from one level to another level. You're just creating node with a name, and after, for example, find parameters, we can type dot color, and we can see in the name reroute declaration. It's the place where it's appeared, and we can see that here this node was used. Again, another one, and again we can see where it was used. And we don't need to make these crazy connections, crazy lines. Everything can be clean, understandable, and organized. Just have a look at the beauty, It's amazing. And I'm even not scared to share like how these materials are looking inside, because I know that people who would try to make a copy of this material themselves, they are doomed. It's impossible. Just really impossible. Because it's not everything, so just part of the material system. As I mentioned, there are some part in the material layer, part in the blending, and also a lot of very smart material functions that Ricky did. So let's come back to the reality. What we were doing, finished with a part of these global parameters just to switch to the layer parameter. And we will be playing with main material just to see the influence right here. So what we have, we have top material type. How to find a good angle. Okay, I think here it will be enough. Material type, so it's a set of different texture masks. And all of these masks are also work with the dot, as you can see. Let's choose something unusual. Okay, let's choose this one. A little bit lower we have color. It's understandable, easy to use. Middle. Then we have two different roughness for the different layers of the patterns, because there are special masks for it. Actually, it works like this. We can see that we are working with top level roughness and bottom level roughness. Maybe hard to notice because we have a lot of dirt. Maybe here. Top and bottom. A little bit lower we have tiling parameter again, so it can be used like something very small to something very, very big. Also variation for the colors. Again, smart masks. Классно, если бы ты выпустил курс по настраиванию материалов. Да, может быть, и будет курс. Время только нужно на это найти. И, кстати, курс не обещаю, но какой-нибудь туториал точно будет. Точно будет. So here we have some influence for the color layer, again based on the pattern mask. And we have top normal parameter where you can change. You just have a look about how good it's working with the dirt level. It reacts immediately. Amazing. And we can also choose is top metal or not. After this, we will go to the where, I think, just to make it bigger. So we have floor amount, walls amount, we need more. Let's type 2 to have more where. Why I did so? I did so to show you the bottom layer, because for the bottom layer we have exactly the same parameter, so actually we can change what is in the bottom. Maybe this one. We can change normals, maybe by 2. It's cool when you change an intensity, the dirt is reacting differently. We can make it maybe non-metal. Something dark. It's a lot of roughness. Этот range был в Unreal Engine 4, просто появился читеринг в виде нанитов. Да, все было, все было. And when we adjusted these two layers, as you can see, the variety of combinations can be really big. As you can see, like just based on these two layers, I recreated these 20 materials. And Triplanar is amazing. Let's come back to the interesting part. Because we have wear effect. Also we have different masks. Different masks are influencing differently. For example, 0, 1, 2, 3. Let's choose 2 maybe. For the wear you also can change tiling parameter. You can add more contrast. Wear level, its parameter, it's how we are mixing two layers inside of one layer. I know that it sounds complicated, but it's what it's doing. Wear intensity. And what is cool? We have different parameters for the floor and for the walls. Let's check how it works. Let's remove everything from the walls. 0. And now we have wear on the floor. Let's add even more. So no wear like on the walls. And everything on the floor. Let's change it 0 to. Now we have like no damage for this material like on the floor, but we have all the damage on the walls. In this way you can really well visually control all these layers. В принципе, этот мастер-материал закрывает большую часть всех необходимых материалов для игр, от чистых и чуть пыли до брутально ржавых и прикрытых плесенью. Это прям супер. Да, это то, что вот как раз нужно. И люди скажут: ой, ну, конечно, не для всех моделей это можно использовать. Ну, конечно, не для всех. Естественно, не для всех. Но для большинства это действительно рабочий подход, который можно использовать. Который сэкономит вам просто сотни часов. Потому что вам даже не надо париться о том, насколько правильно сделана геометрия. Вам лишь бы там информация какая-то запеклась в Vertex Color. То есть это просто рай для людей, которые не слишком внимательны в технических деталях. Они просто будут закидывать что-то на модель, и оно будет работать. работать и достаточно хорошо. Наниты оптимизируют рендеринг очень сильно. Именно поэтому в Unity этот подход, пока тот, что я показываю, он в принципе релевантен, но не так эффективен, потому что там все еще надо следить за поликаунтом. Здесь же мы за поликаунтом вообще не следим. So let's return to the where. What else we have here? We have this choke parameter, and it means when we are sliding this choke parameter, we are regulating how the wear is spreading on the model. And when we have 0, we have wear everywhere. And when we increase in choking, wear is moving more to the edges. And on the maximum we can see it only on the edges, which makes the result very believable. The same about 4. So we returning back 4, and we have this choke parameter where we have it only on the edges and everywhere, and somewhere in between you can find really good parameter. A bit lower we have highlight color intensity, so it's influencing base color, and roughness intensity, it's actually what we see if we turn on unlit. Because of the wear we can, it's hard to notice. Let's remove some. Yeah, it's what I'm talking about, this kind of parameter about highlighting edges on the base cover, as the same about roughness, and parameter that is responding for decal. It means so if we take this decal, maybe this one, and we go to the material, and for this layer, exactly for this layer, we can turn off decal response. And we can see that now our decal is only on other layers where we have this parameter turned on. Are there any trim textures used in the pack? No. All the textures are just these patterns that you see. It's all the textures. Everything else is fully procedural. It's how a material system looks like, and when you adjusted all the parameters that you want, you can save this parameter to the layer library and to use it for other things. And for example here you can just switch this metal to another metal, to the old metal that I saved before, and you can see changes immediately. Or for the base color we can use, I don't know, maybe plastic. And for the floor, it's the last material, we can use maybe yellow. Not the best choice, but it looks interesting. So in this way, you can create some different sets. And imagine it's just one material. If I add one more material, I will have like 5 more materials, material layers, and then possibilities just endless. For people who are curious about how geometry looks like, here we have the scene inside of Blender, and you will be judging me for the poly count. It's how the geometry looks like. So as you can see, I didn't care that much about poly count, and in some places I even added some more cuts to have more information stored. А Hero Proper все равно придется делать и текстурить ручками, вот для Enviro это спасение. Да я думаю, что вот вообще без проблем для оружия такое можно. Там не так много материалов. Конечно, если там какие-то нужны уникальные эффекты, можно добить какими-то декалями дополнительно. Но в целом я вижу как что-то очень даже возможное. Такая вот у нас тут геометрия. Геометрия, как вы видите, я вообще ни разу не стеснялся. Везде фасочки. Совсем, конечно, я с ума не сходил, но наваливал нормально по геометрии. Не стеснялся. Can we see the Vertex bakes? So actually I showed them in the material settings. If you're talking about the result, it was here in the debug and the unlit where we have ambient occlusion, where we have IDs and cavity. Occlusion, cavity, IDs. It's what I'm baking. If we are talking about the process of baking, I will also know how to do it. And it's something we paid some attention to. It's how all these shader balls are looking. And in the scene I have these 5 different IDs, and everything what you need to do when you are creating such models, you need to keep the name of these IDs. That's everything. IDs for, I think it was understandable. IDs are these 5 different material layers that are inside of each material. So you're adjusting like 5 different IDs for your model. Then you exporting the model to the Unreal Engine, previously baking all this information, and so let's return back. Debug off. Let's go to the mesh. Where is the same mesh? Oh, when you have different IDs and you're exporting, Unreal Engine is reading all this information from the Vertex color blue channel where we stored all the ID information, and it's done. So do you think this approach will replace stream sheet method in the future? Not replace, definitely, because you can't run all of this on the mobile or maybe VR because just not enough performance. Everything what I'm showing, it's just PC, consoles. I return back to Blender. So, and we have these 5 IDs that you need to assign. If you have a look about what is inside, mostly just some mirror modifiers and weight normal. It's everything what you need. And the main question about how to use this approach if you want to repeat the same, or maybe you have bought the package and you want to do it. How to bake all this vertex color data, how it looks like. It's super easy. And to do it you just need to have Zen Sets, and in the next update we will add a special extension. Thinking about creating maybe separate add-on just for this, but as we're using a lot of function from Zen Sets and it's required, we had to add it as an extension. So you need to have Zen Sets add-on, and in Zen Sets add-on we added these script options where we added this special extension that is called user Nova. When you're adding this extension and opening Zen Sets, you can see here Nova tools. Everything is set specially for this pipeline with all the IDs. Everything what you need to do is just to have materials that are named material ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And after you're just exporting, and it works with batch exporting. What it's doing, it's taking all the parents objects, combining all the meshes inside, baking all the information, and exporting all the information into FBX file. So it's actually doing all the work that must be done. Just simple exporter with a lot of magic inside that Alex did. Zen Sets. We are polishing some settings inside, but I think maybe in a couple of days it will be available for everyone who have Zen Sets. Surely you can try to do it yourself, but it's a bit complicated, and I will show you why. Because when you let's open one of the models that I exported. Import out some beam. What this exporter is also doing, so it's preserving these UCX meshes. Or actually, I know what we can do. We can open big scene and model before and after. It will be much more understandable. Which one? Which one? Is this one? Something with more materials, I think. Okay, let's take this one. Oh, it's called Wall VX collection. Let's find the same model and import it. So we can see what exporter actually did. So it moved the model to 0 as it must be done. Also here, like, I have collisions for all the meshes. So let's go further. Maybe we can move just this mesh. Where is the parent? So we can see that after export it became one mesh. So it joined everything. It preserves UCX mesh collision. When you are switching to the Vertex paint, you can see information baked in the final model. You can do your own baked, you can use Houdini for the baking. But also there is a tool with Zen Sets that we will be providing. And why it's complicated? It's mostly complicated because you need to store all the color attributes in one attribute, vertex color attribute, so RGB. So if it was separate, maybe it was easier, but you need not only to bake all the channels together, you also need them combined into one channel. And if you're doing it for the multiple models, it becomes more complicated, and that's why Zen Sets is a perfect tool for combining and organization and joining meshes. And in a couple of days, as I said, so it will be available. And everything that you need to do just to export meshes, press export and import in Unreal. I will provide specific instructions step by step about how to install, how to export, how to import, what settings you need to keep in mind when importing model, because when by default you are importing model to the Unreal Engine, it just removes all the information from the Vertex core, and that's why you need to click replace to keep all this Vertex core information. You just have a look about how amazing it is, even without my favorite blue material. Everything is different. The same model, different results, and if you want to add some unique details, you can actually offset some parameters. As you can see, I am changing wear amount between layers and dot amount just exactly for this mesh. I am even not touching material. If it's not crazy, I don't know. It's hard to surprise you in this life. Was this all done by yourself? Yes, I did it myself. Ricky helped me with material system, but overall, from the beginning to the finish, I have spent about 1 year, and if we are talking about job time, work time, I think it's about maybe 7-8 months of full time. It's about explorations, changing different settings, repeating, redoing, discussing, stressing. Return back my favorite material. Fortunately, it's very easy to do, as everything is saved in the library of material layers. You just need to find painted metal blue. По-прежнему в Ростове живешь, никуда не переехал? Никуда не переехал, по-прежнему живу в Ростове. Все верно. Turn back my favorite blue material, but global parameters have been changed, something that I will return back. But let's go to the level and have a look about how all these layers are influencing something big. Oh, we have something, some purple floor. What we can do, we can open material. Let's go to some the corner. again. So you need to edit only non-mirrored parts. It really is impressive. Thank you very much. Open our material again. Change to the metal. Alt. You can see that everything is changing because everything is one material for the huge level. And each layer you can adjust. Not this one. When I'm modeling, I'm always struggling to preserve the same style of assets. Do you have any advice how to be more consistent with style? You just need to have one scene where you're keeping all these assets together when you're testing them in different combinations, and also use the same parameters like when you are doing some elements, similar elements, I mean. And when you're doing the similar elements, reusing the similar assets, you can keep it consistent. Similar by style. So beautiful. So dirty. Плесень просто шикарно, согласен. Гляньте, какая красота. Мы сейчас даже побегаем здесь. Единственный материал для пола слишком, наверное, много. Слишком мало рафнесса, но в целом выглядит так пост-апокалиптичненько. You can see the different, the same material on the dynamic, because we need to change these layers not only for the main material but also for the dynamic. You just need to switch to have the same result. Ну да, плесень просто прекрасно. Dirty, disgusting, industrial sci-fi look. I agree. And imagine you can add this nanite displacement on top, and amazing. Oh, I forgot to move it back. Oh, and now you can see that we have one material set, the dynamic objects, we have another material set, and we can see more diversity. So actually now in the scene we have 10 different material layers. I think that's all for today. I showed all the functionality. In the nearest days, Zen Sets tool will be released, and also material system separately as a set pack for Unreal Engine will be released. The price will be more reasonable. Everyone will be able to afford to try it. For sure there will be more streams, more discussions about this topic. I'm going to release one more post on the ArtStation about showing all the details from today's stream about what I have shown you, to involve more people in this topic, and I will be grateful if you share this information to the world about this approach, that you don't need to texture every asset, you don't need to bake these fucking normal maps anymore. What is the FPS now and what is GPU? So let's enable FPS. It's 2080. I wish I had something more powerful, but even this is enough. So Nanite and Lumen version of Unreal is 5.2. On the 5.4 it's more optimized, so it's giving more FPS. But in general they are providing in this scene like 30-40 FPS. At least I was aimed to these numbers. It's what Nanite and Lumen is giving. So join Discord channel, there will be more streams, we will be exploring this technology more and more. It's something that I'm very interested in. Share your results, what material layers you could create and what environment. And firstly join Discord channel because it will be the main channel where I will be sharing everything. People in the Discord channel will be first knows about all the changes, about all the updates.